My name is Jenny. This is my first Flosstube video. I've tried a few test runs and my tablet glares in my glasses really badly. So I've put a piece of paper across the screen. I'm hoping that takes care of it, but I can't see the screen now to say if that's true or not. So I'm just going to carry on though, because you can go crazy with the false starts. So, welcome to my channel. I can't believe I'm doing this. I didn't even know that Flosstube was a thing until, I'd heard of it, I should say, but I'd never watched a video. What I had done is I'd searched for techniques and noticed the Flosstube tag in videos, but I didn't follow them or know you could follow them. I didn't realize that it was a vlog style thing. So the way I found out was I happened to be a member of Bush Mountain Stitchery Overstock, and they were doing these great videos during the Nashville market that happened just recently. And I was watching those videos. They kept showing up on my feed. And then I saw something in there that I really liked and I wanted to stitch. So I started trying to find it again, but you know how things move really quickly sometimes in your news feed. I never did find that thing again, but instead I found so much more in all of your videos. So I've been watching a lot of Flosstube since then. That was about March, so like 4 weeks or something like that, maybe 5 weeks. I've lost sleep. It's been fun. So some of my favorite Flosstube channels that I've found, probably my very favorite one so far is Valerie's Stitching in the Barn series. I just love her. I love her space and I love her aesthetic and I like her voice and I enjoy watching her videos. Caroline of Off the Grid. I just think she's fantastic too, and she doesn't live very far away from me. I live in southern Ontario. She's in London. I'm in Hamilton, so that's kind of neat. We might have the opportunity to even meet at some point. We have sort of local stitching days that I'm going to go to, and I think maybe she will too. Country Stitchers, Deb and Liz. I love Deb's stitching room. I love Liz's stitching shelves too, but oh my god. Deb's stitching room is something else. I like the Current Situation with Memory and Amy, a couple that stitches together. They're living the dream. I think that's all I wrote down, but there's a whole bunch more that I've been watching, and I just think that it's incredible that people are sharing, and it's just a really neat way to see what other people are doing. Because otherwise you're kind of at the mercy of what your needlework shop has in stock. And so now I get to see things that I can request from my needlework shop, which I've been doing. I've been doing that a lot. So anyway, what brings me here? I've been a stitcher for many, many years, probably since, the first finished piece I did was when I was expecting my son. He's 24 now and lives in Montreal. So, but I did do a little bit of stitching when I was a kid too, but not so much cross stitching. I did more like pillowcase embroidery, and I did a little bit of plastic canvas. I've tried knitting and crochet too. I've made a couple of crochet blankets, but mostly I like cross stitch, sort of a one-trick pony. The reason that I decided to do this right now is that I'm having surgery at some point in the next couple of months. I said already, I'm Canadian. I love our Canadian healthcare system. There are things I love about it, and I have no idea when the surgery is going to be. That's what I don't love about it. It could be in May, it could be in June, it could be in October. I'm just waiting. So I decided that cross-stitching has always helped me through anxiety-filled times, difficult times, happy times, whatever times. So I thought, I'm going to ramp it up. I told my cousin that. I said, I'm going to ramp up my stitching. She said, how's that possible? Cross stitch mania. Stitch mania, I should say. That's how it's possible. So I have been getting stuff together for Stitch Mania. I hadn't heard about it until I heard about Flosstube. So I'm very new. I'm very late to the party. But I thought that's perfect. That's a perfect way to get me through waiting, and it's perfect. It's a perfect way to get me through the nerves around waiting. So I'm gonna do 31 starts. I've got 26 ready beside me. I'm gonna do a series. I'm gonna do 2 series, so that adds to the pile. So I'm gonna show them to you now, because I'm kind of nervous and I don't want to get too into everything else. Yeah, so here we go. The first series that I'm working on, I've already done a couple of pieces from it. It is, I'm sure you guys have heard of this, the Country Garden Songbird series. Songbirds Garden series. So I'm going to have to move that piece of paper because I'm going to have to be able to tell when things are in focus or not. So I'm going to just show you the ones I have to do yet. Merry and Bright. Faith. It's hard to make it focus, isn't it? Wisdom. Courage. That's what I need. Courage. Happiness. Love. And I have 3 more on order. Well, I have them all on order basically, but I have 3 more that have been ordered and are on their way into my local needlework store. So that's 6. No, that's 5. Yeah, 6 plus 3, that's 9. So I'm going to make a little list here. 9 songbirds. And then I have a bunch of other random stuff. So this project bag was made for me by my mom. My mom is helping me with Stitch Mania by giving me amazing project bags. She's working on them. Apparently, I'm going to have enough for everything by May 1st. Okay, so the first piece, besides that series, is going to be Pride and Prejudice by Centenary Sampler, I think it's called, by the Primitive Hare. So there's 2 versions of it, one on a grayish blue and one on a natural linen. I love the way this one looks, but you can't see all the words very well because some of the words are in white. You can't see them at all. So you can see them on this side, but not here. So I think I like the blue better, and I've never really stitched anything on blue, I don't think. So I'm going to do that. So I dyed fabric. I dyed this fabric a couple of days ago. It's not exactly like that at all, but it's hard to make things exact. So there's my fabric. It's kind of see-through. I have a board I can hold this against. It's not really see-through, it's just, light. So there it is, kind of creased up. But I think that's going to be good. So this pattern only calls for 3 colors, and one of them is 3011, which is green. But I didn't love that on this fabric. So the other 2 colors are basically white and 3371. That's 3865 and 3371. Those ones both look good. And I thought rather than the green is mostly for the leaves in the tree. I thought I could make it a fall tree and have like a rusty 300 or 301 or something like that. I've got both. I'm always trying to grab things in, like I'm always trying to go like that. Do you guys do that too? I do it all the time. I'm hoping I get used to it because I feel foolish every time. So yeah, something like that, right? For the leaves, it'll be a fall version. I think that's good. Sometimes you have to change the colors up, right? And I had a lot of fun dyeing that. I do dye my own fabric sometimes, not a ton. If I use variegated threads, I typically don't use hand dyed fabric. I usually either do DMC plus hand dyed fabric or the other way around. But I really like the way that turned out. And the way that I dye my fabric is with this Ashford Wool Dyes kit. It comes with, what's that, 12 different colors. And you can get very creative with those. And I've had this for a long time. And honestly, you only need a tiny bit. It's powdered. You only need a tiny little bit. It's actually very easy to use. It's meant as wool dye. Well, it's called wool dye. It is wool dye, but it's good for wool, silk, all animal fibers. It works on fabric. I didn't buy it. I bought it for wool. No, I bought it for cross stitch dyeing. I'm not sure why I bought it, but look at the price on it. So I ordered that into a shop and I didn't look at the price. And then when it came in, I was too embarrassed not to buy it. But it's expensive. But as I said, it's lasting forever, and I do recommend it because you can do a lot with 12 base colors. So that's one. And let's see, what's this one? Vintage Animals by Jeanette Douglas. I don't have this one all kitted up. I haven't decided yet if I'm too much glare. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to go with the fancy floss or just DMC. I love the way it looks here. Like, I just absolutely love that. But the pictures are all pretty small, so I think DMC would be fine for this. And then I could hand dye this fabric. I have a fabric here that's quite a bit yellower than the called for. It's almost the same color as my walls. I could probably put a little bit of another color in there, like a tiny titch of, maybe like a tea stain type color. Make it look more like the original. So that's that. I bought this at my local needlework store at least a year ago, maybe 2. And that's sort of what I'm hoping that Stitch Mania does for me. Gets me stitching stuff that has just been sitting there, not being stitched. Okay, here's another one. Another primitive hair. Okay, so the reason I have these primitive hair charts is that I went to a retreat about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, in Syracuse, New York, and I met Isabel from the Primitive Hair because she was at the retreat, and we all stitched a doll and an apron and a little toy. No, a bag and an apron for the doll, which is the toy that goes with the bag. Anyway, so while we were there, I bought a bunch of other stuff from her, and it was a great retreat. The retreat was put on by Stitcher's Garden in Fayetteville, and it was just fabulous. That's my one and only retreat. I've been on day-long stitching days before at one of my other local needlework stores. But staying over, spending a few days, spending a lot of money, driving a little road trip, just myself. I met so many nice new people, and it was beautiful. I would go back there in a minute. They're not having their sort of early spring retreat this year, but I'm hoping that they'll have one again next year because I'd really like to go again. Every time we would get up from our chair and go and have lunch, we'd come back and there'd be something else waiting for us on our tables. It was the generosity. It was. We paid for accommodations and we paid for the retreat, but I feel like we got as much, if not way more, than I ever would have. Well, definitely way more than I ever would have expected or hoped for. So yeah, that was great. So here's another primitive hair piece that I'm gonna do. So this one is Yule Queen, and I saw this. I don't know if I would have chosen that from the picture, but I saw it stitched up. Isabel made a little shop in one of in one of the hotel rooms, and had a bunch of models on display. They were just so incredible. So this one, I'm gonna stitch it on this, let's see, green overdyed silk weaver autumn fields fabric. I don't remember exactly why I picked this color for it. Looking at it now, I think I just did a floss toss and it looked good on there. So we'll do that. We'll just do that right now. Here's a floss toss for you. Ta-da. So yeah, that's going to be nice and fall into Christmas. And that's another one of the bags my mom made. I wish I knew what tutorial my mom used to make these bags, because I would credit them. I did give her Vanna's her channel, or the link to her fold over bags, which is kind of what I was thinking originally. But she thought I'd like to show off what was in there, or be able to see, since I'm going to be doing so many different things in May. This way I'm less likely to get things lost. Yeah, so here's one that I'm super excited about. Okay, I have two aspects to me as a stitcher. I love stitching what everybody's stitching, so that's why I've been enjoying Flosstube so much, because I like to see what's popular. And same with books too. I love reading. I love to read what's popular, but I also like reading more obscure things. And I like stitching sometimes more obscure things. So this piece here, I inherited the chart. Somebody passed away. I don't even know who it was actually. And her whole whack of stuff came to me. It's amazing. And this piece was in there. So this is Mary Queen of Scots' house, and this is the Hermitage on site. And this chart, look at that cute border. This chart was made by the Mary Queen of Scots Visitor Centre. So they, I guess, commissioned somebody, Sally Scott Ayton, to make this piece. But I won't show a chart. It's hand charted. It's just like symbols drawn on. It's pretty cool. I looked online, couldn't find any example of it having been stitched, couldn't find any reference to it at all. Looked everywhere, looked through the website for this visitor centre, which is in Scotland, obviously Mary Queen of Scots, and at the Scottish borders, I should say, and I couldn't find any reference to it whatsoever. So I think that it's old enough, low production quality probably. I mean, it's a beautiful chart, but it probably didn't get mass produced, right? So now there's no examples of it, which is kind of cool. So I'll be stitching something that possibly nobody else is stitching right now, and I kind of like that idea. So I found this beautiful autumn blush fabric. Can you see that very well? I thought this was very similar actually to the fabric, to the picture, but the picture's probably faded or not very true to the original piece. So again, sort of like a pinky autumn blush color. So this was charted without DMC. There's no DMC. There's no anchor. There's nothing. There's just this. It says olive, purple, gold, fawn, dark green, light terracotta, dark terracotta. So I don't know what colors I'm gonna use yet. I'll probably try to stay pretty close to this for this, because that's real and true adaptation of the original. But for the rest of it, I don't know. I think the actual house is a little bit less red than this. I think it has a gray roof, and I might fill it in. I'm not sure yet. Same with the Hermitage. I might fill it in, nice stone color. I don't know. But I'm really excited about that. I think I'll start that early in May. I don't have dates set for any of these projects. It's just going to be a Tiny Decisions app. Whew. What am I going to stitch today? Okay, there's more here. Let's see. Oh, another primitive hare. Primitive hare is being well represented in this. So when I was at the retreat that I told you about, I bought one of these, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's a diary page, Anne Boleyn maybe. I feel like I'm getting that wrong. And so I bought it, but I didn't know what on earth I was ever going to use it for because it's so distinct, and I don't remember what she used for the model. I didn't love it though. I didn't think it was something I would stitch. So I just bought the fabric and I thought I'll figure something out. I thought it would look good with a cameo or something big. Anyway, then later, Primitive Hare came out with this little animal series, and I absolutely love. I love foxes, and there's 4 or 5 others in this series, but I really like this one. I thought it was cute, and it's actually on the same fabric, although this looks like it's possibly lighter, faint. Maybe it's been washed out. I don't know, but I'm gonna stitch that. I'm gonna stitch that in May. That's one of my mania starts. And again, I don't know if you guys have stitched very many Primitive Hare pieces, but they're very. There's only 6 colors in that, so 4 DMCs and 2 Gentle Arts. GAF, Gentle Art. I don't even know what that stands for. It says it somewhere in there, but I don't have it yet. I guess that just means I have to get over to my shop. My shop is called Gita's. I love it so much there. I actually let them know when I'm coming in. I email them and tell them I'm coming, and every now and then I go over without emailing them first, and I always feel like I'm dropping in unannounced. I know that's crazy, but I guess it's because I order things, so I guess by emailing them and telling them that I'm coming by, they can let me know what's in or get it upstairs, so it's by the cash register. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I think of them as friends. And I do. Okay, so we have more here. I have a Long Dog sampler, Froth and Bubble. I love this piece. I've had it in my stash for a while. The colors are super bright. I might tone them down slightly. I have them pulled. I have them all pulled and ready. They don't look as bright through the vinyl as they do in real life. There's a 601 there. Actually, they look really good. I don't think I have the fabric planned out for that one. But if you've never seen it, it says, life is mostly froth and bubble, 2 things stand like stone, kindness in another's trouble, and courage in your own. And then space for your initials. I think that's kind of cute. I don't know what froth and bubble is. I think I looked it up. I'm thinking something to do with a pub. Like the froth and bubble and a beer. I don't even know. I forget. I should have looked that up. But anyway, I really like the piece. And here we have... Oh yeah. Rosewood Manor. I've never stitched a Rosewood Manor. But here we have baskets. Even without the plastic, you still get a bit of a glare. Anyway, baskets. I think that's really sweet. And it came with just the chart. I just bought the chart, but I did buy the recommended fabric, which is Picture This plus Ren, needs a press. Ren, sounded like I said red. Ren. And I picked up one of those cute little boxes of the Valdani threads. And I bobbined them, and I even put the symbol on. I don't usually go to the trouble. My floss is always in a big mess. I usually have a box. I don't have one handy, not a floss box with compartments. I usually have like a shoe box, and I just throw everything I need for the project in the shoebox. So having project bags and and floss bobbins. Like I do normally have floss bobbins, don't get me wrong, but I would never put the symbol on. Oh look, that symbol is different from that symbol. I think I need to work on that. Anyway, I have all the little Valdani, I can't remember how to say it. But those are, I haven't stitched with that. In fact, I'd never heard of it until I saw the box with the little spools of it, and I just thought they were so cute. And when I was undoing them to put them on these, I was surprised that they were, there was nothing in there. Like I thought they were on a spool. They were just shaped like that. It was like magic. I don't know who or how that happens, but fun. Okay, so I have two more. So I have a piece that's going to require all these colors. It's only going to be on this size piece though. It's not the biggest. I think that's smaller than a fat quarter. I can't remember what that's called, but I have it in Earth Designs. I finished one paid already, and this one is, there's the picture, decorating the wreath. Now I started this piece already. I started it last year, and I didn't get that far really. I got about that far. I got far enough, just like that, far enough to see that the detail in this is exquisite, and to know that I was going to love it. But I didn't like the fabric that I chose. It was very, it was a linen. I like stitching on linen, but I'm starting to think, I often choose even weaves. I like the look of linen and the feel of linen, but I do find that sometimes the inconsistency of the threads in the fabric, it doesn't work well with Hades, and it was sort of over soft, and but that isn't really why I'm restarting it. The real reason I'm restarting it is that I really messed up the background color. This yellow, it was like, this isn't a circle, it's a circle here just because I cut it in a circle, but it's maybe I'm not supposed to show the color chart. Anyway, it's a lot of shades of yellow around that circle, and at some point I messed it up, and I just chose the wrong yellow, and there was a line, like you could somehow I didn't see this shelf of color difference, and I stitched and I stitched and I stitched for weeks, and then I realized, I think I finished 2 pages of that, or definitely more than one, and I realized what I had done, and I couldn't even figure it out exactly. Like it wasn't like I could just frog it, because on that really soft linen, I would have cut through the fabric for sure. It would have been destroyed. So I just thought, I do love it. And this color, it wasn't so much a floss toss, but we held the picture against that. We, meaning me and the ladies at Gita's, we decided that this sort of soft green sagey color was really nice with the warm tones of the picture, that this will sort of slightly cool it down. I think I forgot the biggie. I'm not going to run around for it though, because that would be silly. I forgot the biggie. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so the 12 that I'm doing for Stitch Mania, I said I had a series of 12. I'm going to stitch the Tiny Modernist stitch along from last year. So the monthly animal, January, February to December, and each one has different animals on it. Unbelievably cute. So I've bought all of the charts, and I've decided that pre-mania, I'm going to stitch the border piece. So I've got some of that done already, but not enough to, I thought I did have this out. I have some of it, but not really enough to like I have 1 month's border done. So I don't know if I'll get them all done by May 1st. Probably not, if I'm being honest. But at least then, because I thought I can't really randomly start different months when I haven't placed them, because that would be too hard to count. So yeah, I'm gonna do that because I'm doing it for my baby great niece. I have a great niece who's going to be 1 soon, and I did stitch for her. I stitched as a birth sampler for her the Welcome to the Forest. I would show you that, but it's at her house. It's over her dresser, and it looks really cute. Their house is very woodsy and very cottagey, and so much wood trim in there. So I got a nice wooden frame for it, and it looks very, very nice in her sweet little room. So that was Welcome to the Forest, not Country Cottage, Cottage Garden, Country Cottage. Those titles are similar. Welcome to the Forest. Super, super sweet, stitched up. I stitched her name into it. I left some of each piece had like a border like that, so I left a couple of those off and stitched her name and her birthday and that sort of stuff. I was going to try to stitch her weight and her hospital, that kind of stuff into it, but in the end I just went with her name and her birthday, and it's if I do say so myself, it turned out really, really cute. So that's Mania. So that I think all adds up to 26 pieces, and that gives me 5 that I haven't really fully planned out, but I know what I'm going to do. So for the 5 extras, I'm gonna stitch sayings, famous sayings around our house, like sort of private jokes type sayings. Like for instance, fine, my cell phone won't smell like anything, which my daughter said when she wanted a scratch and sniff cell phone case, and I told her no. Or keep one nostril open for the ocean, which my son said when we were going to the lake. Or shut up, I'm scrapbooking, which is kind of a private joke. These are things that that no one else would get, but they're really funny in our family. And so my kids, they're grown up, they're not that into my stitching. My daughter does do a bit of stitching. She's working on a piece right now, but which is super amazing. I love that. But you know, they're not gonna fight over the finished pieces. It's just not gonna happen. So I thought I might as well stitch a couple of things that I know that they will like, and they'll like those. Also, this box behind me, it's got a whole bunch of salt and pepper shakers on it, which are really like boring, and I'm not making the most of that space. So this right here, this little swan, I do love that swan. That swan, if you're in any way sort of Ontario or even upstate New York, you might remember a place called Crystal Beach, which was on Lake Erie. The town is still there, but it was a huge amusement park in the I don't even know when it closed, probably in the 80s. That's a guess. But we used to go there all the time when we were kids, and we've been to the town of Crystal Beach since the amusement park has been dismantled, and you can still see little remnants of it. It's kind of mysterious and nostalgic. The town is still very cute, but it's not what it was when the park was there. So that right there, that little swan or duck or whatever, is from the fishing pond. You know, the fishing pond, like you'd stand up on your on a little bench and you'd fish with a magnet and you'd catch those things, and then each one had a little prize. So anyway, what my point is about this is that's my grandfather's telephone book. It's one of those metal ones where anyway, there's just a bunch of some sentimental, but mostly just salt and pepper shakers that the kids gave me for Christmas and birthdays, that I just told them I wanted salt and pepper shakers because I wanted it to be easy for them. I should have told them I want to give certificates to the needlework store. So anyway, what I was thinking was, and the reason that I've parked myself here to make this video, is that I should probably make this a little bit more stitching. That's a tiny quilt, but I could warm that up quite a bit. I was thinking these squares here could be like a January or a winter, spring, summer, fall, or also the overall number of squares in this piece is 25, which is an advent calendar waiting to happen. So I did think I should probably, I've had this thing for many, many years. It was in my family when I was a child. We built a basement, and this is what we did with the spare wood. The carpenter that we had just took the spare wood at the end of the projects and just built this for us. It's very nice. It's tongue and groove. It's as heavy as you would. It's very heavy. I carried it once. I know how heavy that thing is. So yeah, I think I'd like to make more out of that. I've seen videos by people who wouldn't have that be so plain, like Priscilla. I can't remember Priscilla. I've watched some of those videos. They have, and I did watch their tour, their house tour video, and honestly, like this, some people would make this look so beautiful. I thought I could even do finished pieces against the back wall of that. The thing is massive. It looks small. It looks about the same size as my head. It's like if I hold both my arms out all the way, I can just touch the edge. So it's across. Obviously, it's kind of across the room. So yeah, that's part of what I'm doing here. Part of what I've been learning on Flosstube, smaller finishes. I'm trying to get inspired to do smaller pieces. I've done mostly large pieces in my stitching life. I just gravitate towards large ones. Even these little cottage garden pieces, when I got those, I thought, oh, they're just so small. But actually, they're big, which brings me to my works in progress. I'm going to show you 2 works in progress. I probably have more than that. I will definitely have way more than that. But I'm going to show you my two of my more active works in progress, and I'm also going to show you my 2 most recent finishes. So I'm creating a little mess here. It's just starting to lean. Okay, so this is one of my cottage garden pieces. This one is spring. It's kind of crooked. So forgive me for showing this when I have a flat-headed robin. He will be rounded out later today. I think he has his, can you see his beak there? He doesn't look right yet. He looks a bit funny. But isn't that cute? There's always something I like best on a piece. And so far with this one, I like this best. This piece wasn't my favorite one out of the charts when I looked at them, so I thought I'd get it out of the way. But actually, I really like the way this looks. And I really like this too, and these are going to be all filled in, and there's going to be some white here, and I don't know where the chart is for this one. I'm working with a photocopy. I bought the chart. I just like to have a working copy because I have dogs and cats and things get mangled in my life. So, but I didn't want to show the photocopy because I don't know, it doesn't look like I paid for it if I show you a photocopy. So, but yeah, it's gonna have a bunch more stuff in it. It's gonna have some diamonds down this way, and then I think the words on this one are gonna be hope. I'm pretty sure it's hope. I hope it's hope. So I'm really happy with that. It's a fun stitch. I'm using 36 count fabric. This is just a Zweigart. I can't remember what the name of this color is. I'm going to start being better about knowing what I'm stitching with, but it's definitely 36 count, and I'm using the Weeks dye floss. You can tell because of the richness of it and the variegation. But I'm using 2 strands, and I've used 2 strands for the 2 that I've done so far of this. But I think the next one I'm going to do 1 strand because it's a bit chunky. 36 is tricky. If I use 28 count, I use 3 strands of DMC. If I use 32 count, I use 2. I thought 36 count. I tried it with 1, and I thought it was a bit scant looking, so I did it with 2, and I like it better. I like the look of it better, but it just feels a little bit puffy. I do like good coverage, but I don't like feeling crowded. So I might switch to 1 count for the next one. They're not going to be all on display together anyway, so it doesn't really matter what I do. Yeah. Well, I guess it matters to me. Anyway, so here's my next whip. I'm This one is a stitch along. I like stitch alongs. I like mystery stitch alongs even more. I like not knowing what's coming next. It's like grab bags at the convenience store, you know, like when you're a kid. Anyway, this particular stitch along is by Linens and Threads. I'm sure you've heard of it. Lots of people are doing it. I did their last year's stitch along. It really needs a press. I didn't love it. My colors were a bit, I think I wrecked it with color choices. So this time I decided to go very, very simple. I'm using charcoal 32 count fabric and linen, and I'm using lavender tea silken colors thread, and I'll hold it as close as I can. You can see the very slight variation in the colors. A little bit of gray, a little bit of cream, a little bit of a very light lavender. I think that's super pretty. I'm stitching it pretty much exactly as it's charted. So these are, this was January, the borders were February, this was March, April, I'm assuming May, June, July, August, September, October, and then I think November will be one kind of border and December will be another. So there's plenty of space on this piece for that. So those are my two current whips and my two most recent finishes. Both of these I put on my Instagram, which is Jenny McStitcher. So if by any chance, I have noticed some new followers, if you happen to have found your way there already, it's a duplicate. But anyway, so this, I bought the chart for this at the stitching retreat in Syracuse that I told you about. This is Coverlet Houses by the Scarlet House, and I absolutely love it. I had this for a couple of years before I stitched it. It was a quick stitch. I stitched it on lunch hours at work. I work full time, so it really didn't take too long once I got to it, and I just think it's so cool. I've never done that sort of like stitch negative space to make a design, and it was charted either way. You can see it right here. I've got the picture. You could do it the way I did it, and I did it exactly that way. This is I think this is Picture This Plus. I can't remember the color. And I did DMC colors. The only thing that I changed was the DMC conversion that they had the letters and the numbers in black, 310. And I found that a little bit stark. Oh yeah, this is what I was talking about. You can do it in negative or positive. So I did find that black was a bit stark, so I don't know if you can tell, but I just did a spare variegated floss that I had around. It wasn't the exact colors. I thought it would be cool if I could get something that was variegated with these three colors. It wasn't, but it was sort of like a dark DMC variegated, one of those new variations I think they're called. You can't really see those colors at all. It's too, but it's kind of like gray and brown. It's kind of like, it looks like a little bit of that and a darker version of this sort of swirled together. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that one. When I posted this on Instagram, I asked people if they thought I should finish it as a pillow, which I've never done, or frame it. And I think most people said frame, which is probably what I'll do, and it's what I tend to do. I've never done a pillow, but I kind of want to. Okay, can you see the back on that? I never want to show my backs. Okay, so this is my first finish on the Country Garden Songbirds series. Cottage Garden. I get those mixed up. I'm getting older. I'm 50 something. Anyway, Bliss. Here's the first one. Oh, I think my favorite part of each of these, well, obviously I like the birds, but I think my favorite part of each of these is the little birdhouse. There's one little tiny birdhouse on every single piece, And I just think they're adorable. I just want to move right in. Shrink myself down, hop on up, and move in. These are pretty quick stitches. But again, I don't know if you can see that. Kind of chunky. Kind of like super chunky with the 2 strands. So yeah, I'm going to switch to 1 strand. So I think that's everything that I wanted to show you that I've been stitching. I think that's that. I did want to share something kind of funny with you. So my mom, I told you she's making these amazing project bags for me. She also, she shops, she's a quilter, and she shops a lot for me. She just sees things that she thinks I'll like and she picks them up. So this she gave me for Christmas last year with like a whole box full of little things she found. And it had a tomato pin cushion on it. And it was kind of like disintegrating. It had sand coming out of it, so I took it off and put it in the garbage because it was a no-hoper. And I should probably get some Goo Gone and take that residue off or sand it off or whatever. But the reason I'm showing you this, I actually use this. I like that I can put my scissors in here. I like that I can put floss there, like the active floss, right? I mean, I don't really do that, but it's good for those weeks with the cards and the holes. Like I use it. I use it all the time. And what I sometimes do with floss, I just make a loop out of it and then put it somewhere. Because I don't always, like if I know I'm going to use a lot of a color, I don't always bobbinate it. Sometimes I just do that. Maybe I'm lazy. So anyway, I put this on there because it's handy. So one day I put that there, and then, well, like I do that all the time, but one day I put that there and then I put the scissors in, right? And then my daughter walked in the room and she said, "Mom, what did that duck ever do to you? You've stabbed it and blindfolded it." So, so yeah, that's my favorite gadget. Anyway, one of my favorite gadgets. But I'll probably stick to putting that there because that's just, this is bad enough. But that's too much, right? Too much violence. It's cute though, right? I might make another pin cushion, but it would have to be really small to, like the one that was on there, the tomato, it was a bit crowded with the scissors. So I think I need just like almost, well, I have this cute little thing, but even this is too high. This is a pin cushion that someone made into a bottle cap. Can you can't really see that it's a bottle cap, but you can even see the little ridges. Anyway, even that's a bit too high. Is it just because if you had pins in it? Oh, I looked online and I saw some of these have pin cushions out of the wings. I thought that would be kind of cute. And then you could put your needles and your pins in the side, because that would make more sense than this. And then I would just have to clean that red residue off. But yeah, I really like this. It's cute. Very, very old, I'm sure. I don't know when, but it's super old. It's got green felt on the bottom, which is perfect with the primary colors. Anyway, I think that's everything. So I have no idea how to make this Flosstube video be a Flosstube video. I saw an upload button, air quotes, I'm sorry. I saw an upload button, and so I'm sure that I can handle that. I'm sure I'm actually not the least techie person out there, but I don't actually know how to make it Flosstube findable. I think I probably have to call it Flosstube. I'm wondering if it's as simple as that. If it's as simple as that, then you might see this later today. If it's not that simple, this may never get out there. I'm just going to post it. I'm not going to even really watch this because I will hate it. And so, I'll hate something about it. So I'm just going to post it. And then hopefully it'll find you. And if it doesn't, whatever, right? I just hope nobody from work finds it. But hey, maybe that wouldn't be the worst thing either. So I hope that you are having a great Easter weekend. I probably didn't say this is Easter weekend Saturday. I'm on a 4-day weekend. I work in one of those great places that's closed on Easter Monday. I hope you're having a nice weekend. So far, all it's done here is rain. Like, seriously, I can't even let the dogs out without muddy paws coming in. My dogs have been really, really quiet. I'm very happy with them. My old dog has like a throat thing going on right now, so she makes this. I was pretty sure she was going to do that, but she's been quiet. My other dog, and we were just talking about that. My other dog likes to bark at people when they walk by, drive by, fly overhead. She's just a barker. Anyway, they've been pretty quiet, and I'm pretty happy with them. So I hope you're having a great Easter. As I said, happy stitching. Thank you so much for watching my video. I'm sure that I'll be wanting to make more. I don't know if I will, but I think that this is kind of a fun thing to do. And as I said earlier in the video, I need fun and distraction right now. So without anything more, I will say goodbye and happy stitching. Thank you.